Look at this chart tracing Nissan's global operating profit. In March 2025, the line completely falls off a cliff, representing a staggering $4 billion net loss. Zooming this timeline out, you have to go back to 1999 to find a financial trough this steep. That year, Nissan stood at the absolute edge of insolvency. To stop the bleeding today, they are cutting 20,000 jobs and closing 7 manufacturing plants. 2 major market forces engineered this collapse. In Western markets, consumer demand for fully electric vehicles has heavily stalled. At the exact same time, emerging Chinese manufacturers have started aggressively slashing their EV prices, undercutting legacy brands across the globe. Facing this reality, CEO Makoto Uchida and executive Ivan Espinosa are pulling the emergency brake. They are shelving the company's idealistic Ambition 2030 goals in favor of immediate, drastic damage control. Their survival framework for 2027 relies on 2 distinct pillars. First is the Re-Nissan program, which enforces strict operational cost-cutting. Second is the ARC business plan, which executes a rapid restructuring of the vehicles they actually sell. By 2027, Nissan's mission is no longer about a green revolution. This is strictly a battle to avoid total insolvency through ruthless market realism. To achieve that realism, Nissan is dismantling its monolithic global EV strategy. Instead, they are fracturing their product line. Rather than forcing pure EVs onto a hesitant US market, they are pivoting back to high-margin internal combustion and hybrid vehicles. That means retooling for a V6 body-on-frame Xterra SUV and introducing the 2027 Rogue e-Power. This schematic shows the e-Power system. The gas engine acts strictly as a generator, feeding electricity to a battery. That battery exclusively powers the electric motors. It delivers EV-like acceleration and 40 mpg without ever needing to plug in. But cross the Atlantic to Europe, and the strategy inverts. Because local emission laws are incredibly strict there, Nissan is forced to push forward with purely electric vehicles, preparing models like the Juke and Micro EV for 2027. The 2027 lineup demonstrates a hard truth for legacy automakers. They no longer possess the leverage to dictate global trends and must instead submit to the localized realities of regional legislation and charging infrastructure. Of course, changing which vehicles Nissan sells means nothing if they can't change the speed and cost at which they build them. To survive, they are adopting what they call the China model of vehicle development. Piloted with their N7 Elefberg sedan, this system slashes the traditional research and development timeline down to a mere 26 months. The core of this speed comes from a new modular family platform strategy. Instead of building cars from scratch, multiple vehicle models are grouped together to share core powertrains and identical under-the-skin components. The financial mechanics here are highly efficient. Once the first vehicle in a family is developed, subsequent models cost 50% less to engineer. On the factory floor, this modular approach reduces total vehicle assembly time by 20%. By 2027, Nissan's engineering priority has shifted. They are sacrificing bespoke mechanical perfection in favor of ultra-fast, highly replicable mass manufacturing. But hardware is only half the equation. Developing proprietary AI and software-defined vehicle architecture from scratch requires billions of dollars, capital that a struggling automaker simply does not have. This financial distress forced an unusual move. Nissan formed a technology alliance with its former rival, Honda, specifically to split the immense R&D costs of building next-generation ECUs and vehicle software. They are also outsourcing their autonomous driving capabilities. Nissan is partnering with the UK-based AI firm Wave to deliver their next-generation Pro Pilot Assist system, aiming for advanced Level 2++ autonomy by fiscal year 2027. Swallowing corporate pride to share research costs with direct competitors serves as a mandatory defense mechanism against heavily subsidized Chinese technology dominance. When we project Nissan's corporate state to the close of 2027, the transformation is stark. They are dismantling a bloated, centralized legacy brand to build a lean, hyper-regionalized entity. This restructuring is designed to secure strict financial targets by the end of the decade, specifically adding 1 million global unit sales and reaching production cost parity between electric and gas vehicles. Ultimately, the ARC business plan is an exercise in corporate humility. Nissan is abandoning the urge to reinvent the automobile, focusing entirely on the logistics required to simply stay in business. If Nissan successfully clears this gauntlet, their transition will provide a realistic case study for any legacy manufacturer trying to bridge the gap to a new automotive era.